Trump want to deport U.S. citizens now too? Born here, it doesn't matter to him. He said get them the hell out of here, even if they're American. What he said might be unconstitutional, y'all. If you had a feeling talks like this might have happened, drop a 1 in the comments.
We also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together.
Now I know some people gonna be like, well, they're criminals, so they deserve that. You're missing the point. The point is, if he's able to do that, everything else that's unconstitutional wouldn't matter either. It's just gonna slowly trickle away to where he can do whatever he wants. So we can't let that happen. Y'all know the ones he might go for, y'all. Leave it down below in the comments who you think I'm talking about. This shit is crazy.
We also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents.
Trump is now calling for the deportation of American citizens. This is very serious and an escalation from his original premise of he claimed that he focused on deporting immigrants with criminal records.
I'd like to say, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. A lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents.
The messaging behind this statement is one that Trump's administration has done since they started office when it comes to illegal immigrants, migration, and criminals and how they're violent. But the escalation to actual citizens, people who are born here, who are citizens, coupled with the instructions given to the DOJ to denaturalize and revoke citizenship from actual citizens, is a scary escalation in this whole migrant immigration thing that Trump is doing. Now we have to ask ourselves, is any criminal, period, American citizen or not, subject to be deported to Guantanamo Bay or be put in a migrant camp? This sounds eerily familiar as other times in our history where people have been rounded up and put in camps for looking a certain way, holding certain beliefs, or not being the type of person that they want in their regime. Wow.
Yo, welcome back to Echo Room Vibes, where political gaslighting meets a Wi-Fi signal and we expose it all. Today's topic is one of those they said the quiet part out loud moments, and Latinos might be sipping that told you so tea because Trump has officially escalated. No longer just about illegals. Now it's even if you were born here, we might still deport you. Credits to the originators and stitches of this video. We appreciate you. Let's dive in. Y'all, buckle up.
Bruh, good morning. So did y'all hear what Trump done? Did you hear what he done? A lot of y'all probably mad, but what you mad for? Because that law was for slaves, babies. Let's do it again. That law was for slave babies. Now, a lot of y'all don't know what's popping off right now. So, if your parents came here and they came here illegal and they had you here while they was illegal, you illegal too. Meaning they finna report you too, homie. You finna go back, deport, not report. Deport you too. I said report. But anyway, a lot of y'all mad behind that. Well, you shouldn't be mad because you got here illegal. That's like if we broke the law, right? We take our ass to jail. Well, you broke the law. So they deporting your ass. Come on, bruh. Law. That law was for slaves, babies. You are not a slave. You ain't even this color, homie. So, then they mad about hella shit. I'm like this, bro. I'm with everything Trump did, homie. And if you don't like me, hey man, I do not give a fuck. Everything that he did, I'm with that, nigga. I'm black. But I got some information for you though. The best book to read, bro, is the Bible. Among us.
They done start targeting Haitians. Do you really think they could be able to tell a Haitian apart from a regular black American? No. So y'all better be careful out there. It's just another way to mess with black people.
Your people next! Your people next! Where is that, motherfucker? Yeah, get the fuck out of here! You're gonna go to hell! Don't be praying for Jesus, because I know you pray for Jesus, bitch!
This comment was racially motivated because you had a Hispanic ICE agent and you had a white ICE agent, but you targeted the black ICE agent. No smoke for your own people and no smoke for the white man. No Child Left Behind failed y'all tremendously because black Americans will never have an issue with ICE. Black Americans are U.S. citizens. If it wasn't for black Americans, they wouldn't even be over here. Y'all wouldn't even be over here. Learn your history. The Immigration Act of 1924 was only for white European immigrants, and they discriminated against non-European immigrants until the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which was brought to you by black Americans. If you're going to be racist or anti-black American, at least be educated. Be educated while you're doing it. But anyway, salud, and may St. Christopher look over you.
They said the blacks is next. I said that's our time to get our documents in order. Some of you said, oh, don't be pushing fear. Baby, that is not pushing fear. That is pushing awareness. Okay, if you don't understand when they sit there and say the blacks are next and you're sitting there saying, well, that doesn't affect me because I don't have this and I'm no. When they want to run up in our communities and you know how they do us. Oh, you all look alike, knowing damn well they just didn't look beyond our brown skin, okay? So now when they say the blacks are next, and that gives them excuses to run up in our communities and harass us when they know damn well that we are U.S. citizens, fine, that's just one thing, and that's not to pump fear, that's to bring awareness, okay? But let me tell you, when I say get your documents in order and you say, oh, we have our documents in order. Yeah, you got your birth certificate. Yeah, you got your social security card. I am not talking about the documents that they provided you to let you know that you are a slave to them. I am not talking about the documents that they gave you to let you know that you are a debtor to them. Those are not the documents I'm talking about because you don't even know the real power behind those documents that they use against you and how those documents do not protect you. I am talking about the documents that show, hey, not only am I what you would call a descendant of slaves, what some would call descendant of prisoners of war, I am indigenous to this land because of me being a descendant of those prisoners of war. Who were those prisoners of war? The indigenous Americans, the Indian Americans. We ain't gonna call them the Native Americans because they were not the Native Americans. That is a different video, different time, okay? So when I talk about get your documents in order, so imagine, right? Yeah, they clearing this land, and it's going to be us left because this is our land. But those documents that you have and the documents that I'm talking about, the difference between them is imagine now when they looking at us like, oh, it's time to work them black jobs, and we're looking back at them and we hand them our proper documents that say, no, it's time for you to work those black jobs because this is my land and I have documents to prove it. I don't pay tax on my land and you actually need to be running my shit. This is my land. The tables have turned, and now you have to give me back my land. Now, where are you going to go? Because now you're on my land. So now where you got everybody up off of the land, thank you. You did me a big one. So when I'm talking about getting them documents in order, baby, you got your documents in order and you think this doesn't affect you, and that's cool. You found your place, and that's where you want to sit. But when you turn around and say, actually, this is my land that you stand on, and you are also someone who you are not foreign to this land, so where you going? Where you going? This is what I'm talking about, okay? So get your documents in order so that, or more so, we need to be talking about correcting our statuses. While they clearing this land out, and our statuses are being corrected, when the smoke settles and the dust clear, we'll be able to look up and say, actually, you're next.
Welcome back to the show. Let's start with the stitch. Donald Trump literally saying he wants to deport people who have been here a long time, people who were born here. Hold up, read that again. Born here? You know what that means, right? We're not just talking about migrants, refugees, or asylum seekers anymore. We're talking citizens. And historically, who gets criminalized first when the state needs a scapegoat? Black people. Ask yourself, how many times has being black alone been enough to look suspicious, to be labeled a thug, or treated like a threat? Now imagine that same rhetoric with ICE powers. Now, someone in the stitch said, do you think they can tell a Haitian from a Black American? No, they can't. Because the system wasn't built to tell the difference. It was built to police blackness, not document citizenship. So when folks say, this ain't about race, it's about crime, stop it. There's no crime look. There's no criminal DNA. There is, however, racial bias. And when Trump starts lumping natural-born citizens into the same deportation rhetoric as undocumented criminals, what you're really hearing is, anyone we label a problem can be removed. The labeling is the weapon. And here's where it gets real spooky. This ain't new. We've been here before. Japanese internment camps, COINTELPRO, McCarthyism. But now, with denaturalization policies, citizenship revocations, and Trump openly bragging about doing things the DOJ said are unconstitutional, that's not just political flexing. That's prepping the public for fascism light. He's framing this as removing violent criminals. But ask yourself, when has the criminal justice system ever cleanly defined who's violent? Sandra Bland? Philando Castile? Khalif Browder? All innocent, all dead or destroyed by a system that criminalized them anyway. So if you're sitting there thinking, phew, I'm a citizen, I'm good. Think again. If they can't tell you're Haitian, Jamaican, Dominican, or just black, you are the target. Now here's where we circle back to the Latinos. Because remember, many Latinos warned us some time back, but trust the Black Americans. We blatantly told them they needed to learn history. They told us, this ain't just about illegals. This is a pipeline that can be turned on anyone who's poor, brown, black, or just inconvenient. Now, we're hearing Venezuelans, many of whom voted for Trump, crying foul because they're getting deported after being promised protection. TPS? Gone. Work permits? Ripped up. And they're shocked? Welcome to the club. This is why Black folks been saying, we're not safe, even in our own country. You can wave a flag, pay taxes, buy a home, speak perfect English, and still be called a problem. So, to the Latinos who warned us, you might be right. To the Venezuelans who voted for Trump, now you know. And to Black Americans, stay ready. Because if a man can say, I want to deport U.S. citizens and still win your neighbor's vote, you might be next. The answer ain't fear, though. It's organized resistance. Support immigration justice, know your rights, and never get so comfortable in your citizen status that you forget. Authoritarianism doesn't need a passport to find you. From Echo Room Vibes, peace out.